Woo! So, we just hit 7:30. A few things came up this morning. Nothing really going too crazy. I feel like at least a few days this week we saw some pretty solid moves coming up into 7:30. But today we didn't really see anything. So I'll be right back real quick. I'm gonna have to dip out at some point to give my car keys to someone because they're taking my car. I'll be right back. Alright. So as I was saying before, you're looking a lot stronger at other points this week. Looking a little weaker right now. At least as far as GME, it's still looking good. So we look at our charts. So I was just looking at GIGM. It's still got a ways to come back up to where it was. So probably going to be a bit before we take a trade on that. GameStop, at least for the last day, has kind of just been moving fully sideways. Having a little trouble over this 280 mark, so probably going to be a place to watch. Right now it's pulled back to 270, went up to like 76 a little bit earlier. It's still got some time to make a move. We'll see if it comes back up closer to 300 today. If I'm going to take a trade on this, I'll probably wait until it breaks above 280 and then we get a little bit of a pullback. Buying into these resistance levels has been kind of going to wait to take a trade on that. And ENTX, we traded this yesterday and it traded really quickly. It popped up, went straight from $1.50 all the way up to like $5. So pretty solid move that it made. Kind of went sideways a little bit, came up a little bit later in the day when I wasn't trading. We'll see if we can get a move on this. It seemed to move really nicely. As far as resistance on the daily, we're up at 650 now, so we're pretty much above most resistance. I mean, maybe a little bit at 7. We're going to hit this resistance yesterday at 787. But that's really the only place to really work out. Coming into 7 and then going up to 787. The two places we're going to have to watch. And then, yeah, I mean, nothing else has really popped up too much this morning. I know KOSS popped up, but we've seen KOSS pop up a few times and a little bit higher priced. Float is 3 million, so fairly low float, but also very low volume. Made a crazy move the other day, or yesterday, up to $40 during the day, so pretty insane move. We'll watch it to see if we can get another move on it, but we're going to wait for some volume to come into it before we take a trade on it. NVFY just came up, but on very light volume. We saw this thing make a move yesterday as well, so just another one to keep a lookout for. Right now we're just going to have to wait until something pops up. And like I said, I'm going to probably have to leave real quick at some point and give give this person my car keys because they're picking up my car to do some work on it. At least for right now, not really too much else going on. Gonna have to wait for something else to pop up. MVFY is looking pretty weak. GM, came up a tiny bit, but it's way below VWAP. It's got a very long time before I think it's gonna be strong enough for me to take a trade on it. SEEL, it came up 630, dropped back down to its original level on essentially no volume, very much at all. Back here, less than 40,000 shares of volume on each of these candles. Then came back up with volume, but now it's pulled back down to below VWAP. So kind of been up and down. Volume's been very mixed. I want to kind of see this come above VWAP before I take a trade on it. Yeah, it's just looking a little weak right now. And on the 5-minute back here, you can see the highest volume candle by a mile is red, which you don't really want.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Nothing's really going on at the moment. Fairly uneventful. How'd riding go yesterday?
That was good. Really nice out. Perfect.
Good. Good to hear.
Covering GME this morning.
I know I haven't traded anything this morning. I was trying to figure out why you were like doubled up yesterday. You're coming through my desktop audio and my TP audio, so turn my desktop audio off. Um, so we'll see if that
I'm on,
fixes it.
yeah, I'm on speaker, so I wonder if that caused me double audio. But I'm always on speaker, so like I don't know why that one day
Yeah,
would.
no, because if you were doing the double audio through your speakers, I would have heard it as well, and I wasn't hearing it.
Oh, I see.
So I feel like it's just like two of my audios are getting pushed through for some reason.
The streams are getting crossed.
Everything's kind of taking a dump right now. Really go. Oh, so.
Like going down or just not going up.
No, yeah. I mean, like all of the things that came up this morning are going down right now. So gonna have to wait a bit before we take a trade on anything this morning. Overall market's down from yesterday, so
He's up though.
market was looking real good yesterday. Did market make all-time high yesterday? It did.
I wasn't really checking.
Hit all-time high yesterday, but now it's pulled back a little bit. We'll see how it goes today. God, dude, this thing made a run yesterday. Putting like 6 green 5-minute candles in a row.
Spy or
Yeah,
what?
SPY did. That's GameStop was just kind of chilling yesterday. I didn't really do anything with it. I didn't take any trades on it during the day.
Yeah, I think I was like up or like down 1% or something that day, but
I think
didn't
it
really do much.
closed, yeah, down 1%. Something like that.
Oh,
But I mean, it did
that's
go
very
up.
stable.
It went up a bit yesterday, but then it, came down pretty hard. I don't really know. I'm kind of gonna wait to see what's going on with it before I do any trades on it.
Yeah, I heard there's like the short sell restriction or something, so that like cuts into the volatility a lot.
Yeah. I need to schedule my car is going in for work today, and they have like a service where they drive to your house or whatever, pick up your car and like leave you like a loaner car. So I need to like call them back and like schedule it.
The BRZ or the Carly's car.
No, my BRZ. Carly's car is there too. We're just doing both of them at the same time.
What's wrong with your car?
Uh, I need to do my 100,000 mile like checkup or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
I
I mean,
assume
if you
there's
just
some belts that need to get replaced. Like, I'm pretty much past the recommended mileage to get replaced on like literally everything in the car. So I think I need to like replace like my serpentine belt. I assume I need to do like, I don't know. There's probably like half a dozen things that I need to do because I didn't go to my 60,000 mile checkup either, which you're supposed to like replace like your spark plugs and stuff. I think I didn't do that either.
classic Cody.
Yeah. So I need to get like everything replaced, and I'm gonna have them do my oil because I just haven't done that in a while either.
I mean, if you just had GameStop, you could just trade it in, tell them to keep it, and get a Corvette on the way home.
True.
Be like, yeah, keep that. I'll take a Corvette.
If I had just tripled down at $40 and held it all the way back up to 300,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
would have been great. Hey, we didn't really do too much of work yesterday. It's a pretty uneventful day. All just chilling. So you didn't really miss too much.
Dude, you should come out right. It was so nice. Dude, maybe I'm just getting older. Maybe I'm not used to riding, but like, I rode for like 2 hours. It was just a decent ride. I got home and I was so tired. I like took a nap. I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm
It,
out.
it's when you don't do it for like whatever 6 months, you get back
Yeah.
into it. It's rough.
Well, it's like, it's not physically exhausting, but it's like so mentally exhausting because like, I guess I'm just not used to it again, but it's like trying to check everything, like listening for noises, like, cause it's kind of like the shakedown run first ride of the season. So just like,
Yeah.
don't go crazy, make sure everything seems like it sounds right and nothing is off. But also like, having not ridden my bike is like, it's so shaky that like, I get used to it, but like, yeah, I was like getting shook around and stuff. I was gonna choke. Like the vibration, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
It was such a big single, like the other little pink can shaker.
hmm
Uh,
I gotta. I'll call. I'm gonna call the clerk's office today or the RMV or whatever and see what's going on with my license plate. Because yeah, I don't think it ever got sent to me, so I need to get another one.
yeah,
All right, let's check these stocks out. Nothing has
yeah. I'll let you get
changed.
back to work. I
What?
was like, I'll let you get back to work.
Yeah,
Gotta make
let
that
me
money.
get back to work. Yeah, dude, so much work right now. Nothing has changed. That's the current outlook right now. SCEL was popping up today as pulled back over $1 or around $1. Not really doing too much at the moment. It's way below view up. ENTX also way below view up. Bounced off the
Do you
seven
store
dollars
the
area.
data with Olive Guardians, or do you just like stream through it and then like pick through stuff and then dump it?
What? What? Do I use Olive Guardians or what?
No, when with Olive Gardens, do you like have a database with all the data that you collect with the APIs, or is it do you just like look at it and then if it doesn't do anything, you just like ignore it?
um. So I don't have like a database that I'm looking through or anything, but I usually look at like my console. I just have like my console up and my console spits it out before it updates on the website usually by like, around a second. So that's what I'm usually looking at. And also
See.
guy on YouTube, Sean TV going on. Do I think GameStop can go above 300 today? I think if it breaks above 280, it has a really good chance, but um it's just like, so if you look at like the 5 minute chart, in the last day it's essentially been completely sideways. So and it's seems to be consolidating in like a smaller area as it's going. So we got like, a little bit of ascending support coming up into this 260 area, and then we have like descending resistance now after we bounced off of 276. So I think within like the first half of the day, we'll see it break in one direction, and once it breaks in that direction, um, I think we'll see a pretty decent move. And if it breaks up and it breaks above, so just put in this little pivot here at 276.50. I have a feeling if it breaks above this, we'll at least get a run back up to 281, 282, and then if we break through there, we have a pretty good chance of getting through 300. That is my current prediction. This is not investment advice. Don't buy off of what I say, but that's just what I think. And I do. I mean, I hope GME makes a run. I'll buy it if it starts going up. I'm definitely into that. But I think for the pre-market at least, GME pre-market has been really weak in the last couple weeks. Even though it has made big moves, they're almost impossible to make predictions on because so it moved up from 268 to 278 here. It moved up from 268 to 278 on less than 20,000 shares of. So if you buy expecting it to go up, like if someone feels like closing out a position and they sell off 10,000 shares of volume, it could all of a sudden just go $8 in the wrong direction on you. And I don't want to hold through, pullback like that. I'm gonna wait for some decent setups before I try to buy on it. Uh, we had Cfrx just hit the scanners, but I don't really, not really moving too much here. It looks like decent volume, but it came up to $9.66 yesterday in the aftermarket. So it's still got quite a ways to move up before it hits recent highs again. So I think we're going to have quite a bit of resistance coming into some of these levels, especially with this huge red candle here at 4 o'clock in the morning. It dropped from opened at 8:30, pushed up all the way to 9:45, and then dropped all the way back down to like 6:20. We're looking a little rough there. So I will definitely keep an eye on this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see pushing up into some of these levels and then a little bit of selling off, especially because we opened around 8:30. So I would think that we'd see some resistance in this area that we're in currently. Decent volume on these green candles. If we see more volume coming in though, I'll definitely take a trade on it. So it's pushing up now back to 850. We'll see how it holds as it's coming up. Really good volume coming in on this. So this might be one to take a trade on. It seems like decent volume's coming in. A little bit lower volume on this last 1 minute candle, kind of similar to the one of these previous red candles. A little bit of decreasing volume, but still looking okay. I need to wait for a setup on this if I'm going to buy in. I would like a 5-minute setup since it's just put in 2 pretty big green candles. So I'll probably wait until I get one of those. I think it's a little extended, and since it's pushing up into levels that it was at in the last day, I'm less confident that it's actually going to hold these levels. So I'll wait for a 5-minute setup on it. And while we're doing that, we'll just keep an eye on the scanners and look through some of these other tickers that we've been looking at this morning. But it seems like Cfrx currently the one that looks the strongest. I'm probably gonna wait for 5 minutes. If we get a 5-minute setup on this, and the 5-minute setup ends up pushing back above this high or up into $9, I think that'll be a good trade. From after $9, it doesn't look like there's a lot of resistance. Maybe going to be a tiny bit at 920, and then as we push up to 950, 960, we'll see some resistance. I think it'll be a good trade over $9. Get it? Oh God. I'm gonna go call Subaru dealership right now, so I'll be right back. I gotta get my car picked up at some point today. I need to schedule it. So, be back in a minute or two. Alright, I'm back. Probably gonna have to step out again at some point to actually give them the car. Give them the car keys. Did I miss anything while I was gone? It doesn't look like it. Cfrx still the only thing that's really moved up in the last 20 minutes or so. So SEL has pulled back pretty significantly and just take another dip, breaking down below this level or breaking out close to this level again. ENTX. So ENTX, I mean, although it is below VWAP, it's still holding pretty close to its pre-market highs. It did get a little bit higher yesterday, but if it comes up over 7, it could be looking at a good trade on that. GME again, really, really light volume, so it's really unclear which way it's trending since the volume is just so light. It's really just whoever's putting in big orders right now is kind of controlling the direction of the stock. We're gonna have to wait until we see something else come of that. And GIGM pulled back even further. Almost no volume on these last few candles. There's tried to do something here with this little bit higher volume, but really nothing happened. So I feel like the one to watch right now is probably Cfrx, and I'd like a 5-minute setup on this because we're still below. Although we are above VWAP, we're still below the aftermarket highs from yesterday. So as we're going to be pushing up, we're going to be running into resistance and people holding from up there, and maybe people wanting to get out. So I want to see a clearer setup than a 1-minute setup now that we've made a pretty decent move up. In the last 20 minutes, it's moved up a full dollar pretty much. So if we get a little bit of a pullback, that'll be great. Maybe push down closer to 825. That would be nice. Maybe even a pullback to VWAP, but just at least a bit of a pullback so people can try to buy back in or get a little bit of a better setup. This last 1-minute breakout, so we had a red candle here, 1-minute breakout, but from this breakout at 8:45, it only moved up 30 cents, and now we've pulled back a bit. So kind of expected with a weaker 1-minute breakout when we've had such a big move in the last 15 minutes. And this 5-minute candle is closing in 30 seconds. We'll see if this closes green or red. I think if it closes red and then the next 5-minute candle breaks down below 850, then we'll be in good shape for a nice 5-minute setup. If it closes red or green and then it immediately pushes up through 875, then it's kind of questionable what we should do. Because we can buy into the 5-minute breakout, but it's already pretty extended. But so 5-minute candle just closed. We'll see if it pushes up through 575 right now. So it's pushing up, but it's kind of struggling at this high of 880 right now. We'll see if it breaks through. 1 cent breakthrough, a little bit of a pullback. Let's see if it retests. So if it starts pushing now and it starts pushing up to $9 on good volume, so the volume is looking good on the 1-minute, but there's quite a lot of selling coming in. See what this looks like. See if this 1-minute candle holds up. See what the next 1-minute candle does. Broke up to 882. New 1-minute candle seems to be pulling back a little bit. This is kind of what I was saying. It definitely still has the potential to break out to 9 right now, but it's pretty overextended, so I think people are going to be trying to take profits or short into these highs. So I want to wait for a better 5-minute setup on this. Last 5-minute candle bottom was at 850. So we'll see if this candle comes back down and we can get the bounce off 850, or if it breaks down through 850. We'll just keep an eye on that. Nothing really on the scanners right now. GME kind of just chilling. Like I said before, it's kind of consolidating into a smaller and smaller area. It seems to be trending towards the high side of the consolidation area. So if we see it come back up and break through this 276 and push into 280, then we could see a move back up to 300. I think that's what I'm going to watch out for on that, but I don't expect that to happen until more volume starts coming in. We're just on the 1 minute, at least in the last 30 minutes, it's just been dead, like completely dead, no volume at all. And then Cfrx seems like the one to be watching right now. Just made a pretty good push up and is consolidating near the top of its pre-market high. It's good to see. We're coming back down to 850 right now. We'll see if it breaks through. So it broke down a little bit below 850. See if it can hold up. It seems to be holding. I'm going to buy a few shares here. And then I'm going to keep a tight stop on these. You know, if it drops down below 846, I'll probably I'll probably sell off and then look for a better setup. But I just bought some shares because the stock's been looking really strong. You know, it's been holding its levels very well, and I expect it to come back up and try to retest these aftermarket highs from yesterday. Taking a little bit of a dip trade off of the previous support level. What's going on, gentlemen? How's it going today? How'd your options trading go yesterday? SPY was awesome. Popping off, man. Nice. Take that. Yeah, dude, I feel you. I do that like literally all the time. So this is the last 1 minute candle on this 5 minute. So now we want to watch here. If it breaks down below 850, probably sell off these shares. We might be putting in, you know, a little bit more of a pullback. So it just broke down below. We'll see if it holds. Got bought up pretty quick. So all of the drops on this are getting bought up pretty quick. So we'll see what this next 1 minute candle does after this closes. Yeah, dude, it like hurts my soul when that happens. When it's like you look at like the indicators and you're like, well, you know, it's going up. It kind of hits some resistance. Like maybe I should sell some pieces off here, and then you end up like getting out of the trade, and then all of a sudden it just like turns around and goes up like $5. Just hurts deep. All right, so 5 minute candle closed. Red 5 minute candle, but not too red. Kind of just chilling in the middle right now. As I'm saying this, METX just popped up. So, take a look at METX. Popped up on decent volume. Seems to be coming up pretty nicely right now. So we'll see what this does closer to 3, and we'll see if it can put in a little bit of a pullback before we try to buy into it. As far as Cfrx goes, as we break through these highs of 880 in this next 5 minute candle, we're going to try to add. But hitting a little resistance coming into 880. METX pulling back a tiny bit right now. Just tapped just above $3. And if any of you guys want to follow the stocks I'm looking at, check out oliveguardians.com. I look at anything that's moved up above 25% in the day, so that's like things people are going to start looking at when they sit down. And then look at anything that's actively moving. So that's how METX popped up on my list. You know, it moved up more than 8% in the last 5 minutes, so it's coming up on news. Everything I trade comes off of oliveguardians.com. Cfrx hitting a little bit of resistance coming up towards 880. So we've seen that before. We'll see how this 5-minute candle fares. So really what we want to see, if we're going to get another 5-minute setup on this, or a new 5-minute setup on this, we want this 5-minute candle here. We want this to be completely encapsulated by this previous candle. So right now it is. You know, if it starts pushing down below 845, 844, then it's definitely looking worse for us. But if it pushes down that far, then, so it's pushing down right now, we might want to, yeah, so I'm going to sell off my shares here. Might come down, maybe tap off VWAP. So, down on that trade a bit. $5, but, you know, still looking okay. I think CFRX still looks very nice, and I'd like to take a trade on it. This 5-minute candle, 5-minute red candle is now fairly large, so it's going to be harder to get a good entry on this. We're just going to have to wait and see how it shakes out in the next few candles. No, that was the first trade that I took just now on CFRX. Really, up until recently, nothing was moving very much. So, keep an eye on METX now. Really nice volume, but really hasn't moved too much as of yet. A little bit higher of a float at 20 million shares. Keep an eye on it. It starts coming back above 3. Might be one to take a trade on. CFRX kind of holding just below 840 at the moment. I could see it start coming up, but yeah, so I tried to take that dip trade off of 850, and it came back up, you know, close to 880. I didn't sell off any of the position because I was looking for the move back up through 9. And then I cut it pretty tight on the way down. So I'm probably not going to take another trade on this until it comes back up for the 5-minute candle to move over 875. Or, you know, if we get a little 5-minute candle that's encapsulated by this 5-minute candle, and then we break above that, then maybe I'll buy in there. METX now, the 1-minute breakout is above 3 still. So we'll see what happens with it. CFRX just broke down below VWAP, but seems to be holding above it for the time being. GME still sitting at 270, so not really too much going on there. Like I said earlier, I'd like to see it come up, you know, at least test 280 and then come back above it. And then maybe if we get a pullback above that level, I'll think about buying some. So Nlsp just popped up on the scanners. So looking like really nice volume on this last candle. 3 million share float, so fairly low float stock. Like to try to get a setup on this. What's the news on it? That's pharmaceutical. This might be just one to just try to get like a dip on because it's just going off. So yeah, it's just going crazy. It's really hard to buy into this. Except it's just going off. And it's hard to buy dips on TD since like the ticks are so big. It's all right. Let's give this a second here. I want to wait for a setup on this. I don't just want to buy into it. I mean, it looks like it might be going off without me again. Dip down to 5. It seems to be holding 5 pretty well. So, see if we can hold up above 5. I'm going to try to take some shares at 5. As I say this, it just dips below 5 a little bit. My cost basis is at $5 exactly. Um, I'll hold these down to 450. That's where VWAP's at. And then if we break up through 550, then we'll add more shares on. Um, I didn't see anything about an SEC ruling say you can't short it. I know it's on like short sale restriction or whatever, so you can't short it on a downtick. But I don't actually know like how detrimental that is to shorts. Right, so we want this push up through 550 here for the 1 minute breakout. So now if it drops below, 495 on the 1 minute, it doesn't look spectacular. But it was so strong in the first few minutes of this that I want to hold it to see if it can come back up. So I'll give it the chance to come back down to VWAP, which is at 470 right now. Give it the chance to hold up here. Yeah, I see people like talking about like the gamma squeeze or whatever, um, because of all the call options that need to be, that they need to at least have some protection for those in case they do get triggered. Um, but I also don't fully understand a lot of the things that people are saying, so I can't really like if I don't really fully understand them and I can't verify if they're like true at all. Like I don't know how much to trust random people on Wall Street bets, you know. All right, pushing back up. See if we come above 550. Seems like someone's trying to keep it down at 550. A lot of selling coming into that level. I like to see this thing go through 550 and make a move. Thing went crazy, went all from $3 to $5.65. Oh no, the guy's here to pick up my car. Rip. All right, I gotta close this position. Unfortunately. Oh god, I'm gonna get fisted. I know this. It's just about to go off too. All right, well I gotta sell this off. I gotta go out and give this dude the keys to my car. I'll be right back. You hate to see it happen. Oh man, this would have been such a good trade. I was like contemplating running downstairs with the banana suit on, and I was like, nah, people I know could like see me.
Did you change before you went down?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god, that should have been amazing if you did.
Yeah, that would have been terrible, dude. So, so unfortunately, I missed a really, really good trade here. I was in at I was in 20 shares at $5 exactly. I wanted to add going into 550. Uh, Unfortunately, I ended up selling off going into 550 because I had to go give that guy the keys to my car. See, why does it always happen at like the worst times? You like wait for setups like this for like ever. Like I've been waiting for a setup like this for like weeks. And then it's like you finally get one and it's just like, oh, well, the guy's ringing my doorbell, so I go give him the keys to my car. Well, what are you gonna do? All right, so um, we still made money on the trade. We're $7 up on that trade, I guess. It would have been really nice though. Um, as far as the 1 minute on it, um, pulled back a little bit off 680. You know, just double bottomed at close to 6. So dip trade off of 6 might be a thing. The first 1 minute to break, the first new 1 minute candle to make a new high is 640. So we could try to take a trade over 640, but on the 5 minute, we're looking pretty extended. So it's unclear whether or not that's actually going to be a good decision. We'll see what this 1 minute candle does. So I'm gonna take some shares just because it's been looking really strong. God, I tried to buy in the ask, or I tried to buy in the ask, and I didn't get filled as it came up over 640. So holding 20 shares, coming up above 640. First price target probably as we push up through 680, close to or into 7. So I'll probably take off half the shares as we come into $7. Otherwise, I'll hold it down to $6 right now. And if the 5 minute wasn't so extended, I'd probably want to buy coming into 680 for the move up to 7. But I have a feeling we're not going to get a huge breakout here if we do break above 680. So 1 minute candle struggling a little bit here, just below 650. We'll see what this next candle does. I'm in at 640, so a little bit high, but nothing too terrible. Buy about to dump? Why? What happened? Did the news come out or something? I'll bring up my trading window here so you guys can see this. SPY popped up and then really nice green candle and then pulled back quite a bit there. Well, it did just like, hit all-time highs, so. Alright, so we just broke over 680 on NLPS. We'll see how it looks strength-wise coming into this. If we pull back below the bottom of this 1 minute candle, I don't love the way that it's looking. Yeah, so it just pulled back pretty hard off 680, so I'm going to take off half my shares as we come down. Just so we don't get caught in a bigger pullback. Seems like it hit quite the resistance at 680 there. Since I was in a little bit high, ideally I'd still want to have my cost basis, somewhere further down if I was adding going into some of these levels. So if we're looking strong pushing into 7, I'll, add on to the position. But for right now, I'm just holding 10 shares coming up. Oh, yields are back up. Yeah, dude, I don't really. The stock market is not fully understandable. It's a very strange thing. Alright, so we're pushing back down a little bit here. VWAP's sitting at 6 now. So if we see a pullback to 6, I think we're still looking really good, and then maybe we can, get in for a 5-minute setup. SPY looking a little bit down. How's GME looking? GME, holding below 270 right now, but that doesn't really mean too much. It could immediately come back up, so it's not really too concerning at the moment. Nlsp selling off a little bit here. We'll see if it comes down and jumps off VWAP. Comes down and tabs VWAP, I might add a few more shares because it has, this has been looking really, really strong. And we're getting to the point in the day where we might see some more traders coming in. 5-minute candles closing in a minute now. And this is a little bit of a smaller green 5-minute candle, so that's good to see. A little bit of a pullback off the high. On the 1-minute, we're getting a little bit of a breakout here. It's we might get a little bit of breakout here. It's like the ABCD pattern forming. That's what those people say. So we had a red candle down, green candles up, another set of red candles down, and now if we get the break over here, we should be a little stronger than that last breakout we had. So maybe we'll get the push up to 7. So we'll see what this next 5-minute candle does. If the next 5-minute candle immediately breaks down below 625, I'll probably sell off and then look for maybe a dip off VWAP, which is now like 20 cents 20 cents lower. If we immediately start getting a move up, I'll probably add to my position as we come up over 660. See what happens. This is a new 5-minute candle right now. The last 5-minute candle was still green, but a little bit of a smaller green candle. And significantly decreasing volume on this pullback, which is good to see. Higher volume on some of these red candles, which is unfortunate, but the kind of crazy strength we had in the beginning of this move is making me believe that we could potentially get that back. On the daily, let's check out this daily. So we're at 684 now. Oh, is this a recent IPO? Must be, right? Doesn't. Yeah. All right, so this is recent. So this is so we're at all-time highs right now. It's good to see something at all-time highs because there's no, resistance on the daily charts coming into these levels. It's coming down a little bit right now. Still holding decently well though. Nothing else really popping up on the scanners at the moment. So it just dropped all the way to 6. We'll see if it holds above 6. So dropping below 6 a little bit. Will it come back up? Seems to be holding here. But quite a lot of selling coming into it, man. There's a lot of selling. Pops back up above 605, maybe. Yeah. So I'm gonna take a few more shares here. It seemed to be holding above 6 pretty well. Now if it drops below 6, I need to take off these shares like pretty immediately. But it held up above 6 quite well, so buying some more shares for the move back up. So trying to take a little dip trade on this. Cost basis is now 619. On the 5-minute, we're still looking really good. So it's pullback. It jumped a little bit below VWAP, but has come back up pretty nicely. So we're looking good there. Little resistance is 620. See how this shakes out in this 1-minute candle. This 1 minute candle being small is not that big of a deal, but we want to see it close green, and we want to see the next 1 minute candle, break up above 620 now. Some resistance coming up now. Yeah, so it's looking a little weaker than I want at the moment. So I still have some of these shares as we come back down, unfortunately. So we can still wait for a 5 minute setup on this, or if it holds still close to $6 as it comes up on the 1 minute, we could take another trade on that. But yeah. So when it looked weaker coming into 620, I could have taken off some of those shares to salvage, the position that I was in. But I was hoping for a move back up. So high of this candle is 611. Still holding below 6. If we break down any further, I'm going to take off the last few shares that I'm holding. Yeah, it seems to really be struggling on the way up here. Really unfortunate since we saw such a really nice move on the way up to begin with. Thought we could have seen some continued momentum on this. Still has the potential, but it kind of just looks like it doesn't know what it wants to do right here below $6. I was looking at GameStop. GameStop's sitting at 269 right now. Yeah, so all right, I was selling off. It's an unfortunate thing. So realistically, we bought for this dip down here to $5 when we saw it was holding pretty strongly at 5. When it started moving back up, unfortunately, I had to sell off here. But really, what we wanted to do was add into this 550 level as it broke up above on the 1 minute. First price target, probably, I would have taken some profits as it came up above 6. So I probably would have taken off, half the position, a quarter of the position, something like that as it came up above 6. And then holding through this consolidation, I probably would have shed some more as it broke down through some of these levels. So like the first time it hit a big red candle coming down through 638, that's not a good indicator, especially because this candle was on, the highest volume of the day so far. So it's something to keep an eye out for. I bought coming up into this because I was hoping for a move back up to 7, and that was where my first profit target was. But unfortunately, this pulled back and then never came back up. It still has the potential to move back up. This last 5 minute candle is a fairly large red candle, though, so it's going to have to make quite the move up to reclaim these levels. So it's probably going to be a while before we try to make another trade on this. And aside from this, I mean, the other stuff we were looking at this morning, ENTX seems to be coming up a little bit right now, but I guess lighter volume. We had one good candle here, but even this candle was like highest volume, but it really didn't move very much. So ENTX, maybe one to look out for. SEEL, not really doing anything, just sitting below VWAP. GIGM, same thing, not really doing too much. Cfrx, just pulled back completely. METX, yeah, METX is actually holding pretty close to its previous level, so if volume starts coming back into this, I could see it doing well. And Nlsp. So we can buy on this break up on the 1 minute, but I'd like to get a 5 minute setup. So on this break above the 1 minute right now is like the expectation that this will, start to trend back up again, break over VWAP, and then, we'll put in the 5 minute setup. It's a little bit of like an early entry if you want to get in lower. It has probably a less % chance of resolving, but since your cost basis is lower, you can keep your stop lower. See what it does right now. seems like it's holding well. Maybe we'll take a trade that's coming up through 6. But still, again, I'd like to get a 5-minute setup on this. So if this 5-minute candle ends up closing, close or above VWAP, and then the next 5-minute candle breaks out through it, then I think that'll be where I want to buy. Yeah, and GME is kind of just chilling. Absolutely no volume being traded, really. So not really too much to say there. We're coming into 8:30 right now, so definitely a time to watch the scanners as we push over this next 5-minute candle. See if we get anything new popping up, and maybe we can take some more trades. Nlsp, really nice strength in the beginning of this move when it was coming up on news. So maybe we'll see another stock pop up with similar strength. It seems like a lot of pharmaceutical companies have been popping up very strongly recently. At least that's what the majority of the tickers that I've seen that have been strong in the last couple weeks. So 30 seconds to close on this. So now is the time that I'll be looking for the 5-minute setup on Nlsp. So as it breaks up through $6, we're going to want to buy for this 5-minute setup. But like this 5-minute candle to close first. I don't want a premature breakout. I want this 5-minute candle to close, and then the next 5-minute candle to push up above $6. And then we'll keep a closer eye on when it's coming into levels of resistance. So it hit 620 pretty hard and 610 when it was coming back down, and it was probably the indication that we needed to sell off a few of our shares. But we held down, to 6, and then when it broke through 6, I sold off. A little bit of a pullback on this 1-minute. Not anything too concerning. As far as 5-minute volume goes, highest volume candles of the day, still green. So we're looking good in that respect. So as we push up through 6 here, we want to buy. Nothing really popping up on the scanners at 8:30, so nothing coming up on news at the moment. Alright, this 1-minute candle is closing in 5 seconds. We'll see if this next 1-minute candle can push up through 6. And then we'll try to get some shares coming up through 6. It doesn't really know what it wants to do. Sitting at 585. A lot of buying coming into 585, but no upward movement. So unfortunately, seems like it's being held down pretty well. Yeah, I just saw 3,500 shares, 4,000 shares get bought into 585, and it didn't even flinch. So I don't know if this thing is going to make the break up, unfortunately. We'll at least give it a second. I mean, it still has the potential to make this the 5-minute breakout, but it seems to be quite a lot of resistance. Not what we want to see. I feel like it's very strange to see this much resistance coming into this, because it's a recent IPO. So no one should be able to be holding above these levels. So it might be like initial investors that are selling shares off, or people shorting into it. But I would think with this being such a new stock, it might be maybe harder to get shorts or shares to borrow. But my other broker does have shares to borrow on it, so might not be too out of the question. Alright, so we're pushing back up. So it just broke through that 585, which we were seeing a lot of resistance at previously. So I want to see it break up a little more here. Okay, so coming into this, I'm going to buy just a few shares to see if we can get the push up to $6. And then I'll hold these shares down to 570. And then we're looking through this move through 6. And then the push up to 650. And then 650 is probably going to be our first price target, since that's where we encountered like the heaviest resistance we had so far today. Yeah, I'll sell these shares off because another stock just popped up looking really nice. Just moved up a ton. On a little bit lighter volume. Still a really nice move. Another bio, some kind of pharmaceutical thing. Yeah. We'll give Nlsp a second here. But if ANIX, starts going off, then we'll switch over to that. But we'll at least give Nlsp the chance to come back up above 6. It seems to be struggling pretty hard doing that, unfortunately. It's just holding 580. This thing just can't come up. And less volume, every candle. So it's just looking rough here. ANIX, pulled back a bit. Quite a lot of selling coming into it. Let's see. As far as recent highs, we're definitely above anything else. Besides, way back there was a high at $8.95. ANIX is almost at its all-time highs as well. Alright, so Nlsp started pushing over 6. So we'll see if we can hold above 6. We got 20 shares at 593. Seems to be holding above 6 pretty well right now. Buy a few more shares down here as it's pushing back to 6. Bought at 602. So I'd like to see it hold above here. So this is the 5-minute candle. It's 5-minute breakout right now. So like I said, first price target is probably going to be, I'll probably take off like 10 shares as we come up into 650. As far as lows, if it comes back down to 585, that's the low of this current 5-minute candle. And that's probably the place I'm going to bail out. Had some resistance here at 610 the last time we were here. So at 610, we're still encountering some of this resistance. 610 and 620, both of them had issues. Dropping back below 6, definitely not what you want to see. See if it can come back up. Like I said, as long as it's holding above 585, we're still looking good. Dropped below 6, but then immediately got bought back up, so that's awesome. I like that. Highest volume candle of the day is that 1-minute candle that we just had the breakout on. So also really, really good to see. Broke through 610, very nice. 620 was another, problem for this. So if we come above 620, I expect we'll move back towards 650. We're not overextended at all. We're just hovering above VWAP right now. We put in a ton of consolidation candles, so I think this thing should be ready to go up. Pushing up a little bit, 615. And we get 620. ASIX pulling back a bit, not really too much going on with it. Another one where I mean it's pretty much at all-time highs, so I'm surprised it's selling off as hard as it is. Have to assume it's people shorting it. Nlsp, yeah, really having a problem up above 6 right now. I mean, just can't push over it. 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. The 5-minute candle closing above 6 would be really, really good. If it closed below 6, then it's definitely not looking so good for us anymore. And I'll probably close out my position if it closes below 6. Oh man, so much buying into 6. It took so much effort to get over that seller just then. Yeah, it's having such a hard time here. I assume as soon as it lets loose in one direction, it's going to make a pretty decent move. I just hope that we're moving up when it does that. So it just dropped to 590. Yeah, so I'm going to sell off my shares as it comes down to 585. I'm still holding 10 just to see if it'll come back up, but it's not looking good. It's just seems like it's falling apart a little bit here. Quite unfortunate. So this 5-minute candle is closing in 15 seconds. Most likely will be closing, below $6. So it's false 5-minute breakout, highest candle of the day, and it's a highest volume candle of the day, and it's a red candle. So I have to assume people are going to be selling off after this. So I just sold off the rest of my position. Unfortunate. It's just what you got to do. ASIX seems to be coming up a tiny bit right now. I'll keep an eye on that. GME still kind of not moving. Unfortunate. What else we got? SEEL. Nothing. ENTX. Was coming back up. Failed to hold above VWAP. So I don't expect this thing to start making a move before the open, probably. GIGM's pulled back completely. Cfrx pulled back completely. METX still holding, but it's not looking promising, especially just because there's so little volume coming into it right now compared to before. And the Nlsp, we were just looking at, I mean, highest volume candle of the day is a red candle that had a false 5-minute breakout. It's just quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. What are you going to do? Now it's time to just watch the charts. See if we can get anything popping up here. I mean, NLSP still technically does have the potential to move up again, but I feel like it's going to have a hard time. It already had so much selling coming into it as it came up through 6. I think it's going to have just as bad of a time as it tries to come up again. But I mean, if this is short selling on NLSP, if it starts breaking through, if it breaks back up through 615 through 620, that seemed like where a lot of that selling pressure started. So if it breaks up there, it might, cause some of these shorts to have to cover, and we'll get maybe a move back up to 7. But at this point, I'm probably not going to take a trade on this until it seems like there's some momentum coming back into it, going up. Yeah, ASIX made a really solid move, but just for some reason isn't holding it. Like I said before, I mean, if you look at the daily chart, it's pretty much at all-time highs. Besides this, this one point all the way back here, and it didn't tap that, so I don't know where this resistance at $8 is coming from. Unfortunate. I would have thought that this would have been stronger as it came up. Coming into 845. Oh man, Nlsp coming up. Unfortunate. Fortunate for me because I sold my position. I honestly didn't even watch the VOD, but I watched the VOD today. I was thinking about doing it last night, but I didn't end up doing it. I completely forgot. I also realized that I had, at least on my mixer, I have like my desktop audio and audio from, like I have my TD audio piped in, but my TD audio is from, the rest of my computer as well. So it might have been that I actually was piping in two audio sources that were identical. So I don't doubt that it could have been echoing, but I'll check it today. But I also did turn off one of those audio sources, so maybe that fixed it. That's good. Nlsp coming back up. So now it's hard to determine where I want to take a trade on Nlsp if it is coming up. I'm having some issues with my headphones right now. I'm going to readjust. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so now on Nlsp it's hard to tell where we want to take the trade since we had this 5-minute breakout that just pulled back completely, so I think it still looks strong, it's still hovering around VWAP, made a really nice move. The biggest indicators are that this last 5-minute candle pulled back after a breakout, and it was on the highest volume of the day. That does not necessarily mean that it's not going to be able to make a move back up, but it's kind of hard to say where we want to buy on this because if we try to take another buy as it breaks up through 615, then our cost basis is really high if we're going to get a pullback coming into these resistance levels. So, very difficult to tell. There does seem to be some ascending support coming in here. As I say this, it seems like it broke through the ascending support. Yeah, if it starts pulling back now, though, and makes a move back down through 560, I would say it's probably unlikely we'll see it come back up before the open. But if it's holding here, there's still definitely a good chance. We'll try to see if we can get a good buy on it at some point, but right now I'm not seeing a great place to buy. Really unfortunate. And yeah, GameStop sitting at 269. A little bit pulled back from its high today. And we already hit 845. I wasn't even paying attention. At 845, it doesn't look like anything popped up on the scanners, so nothing coming up on news at the moment. I don't really see any volume coming into anything. SEEL, ENTX. ENTX also has the potential to move. GIGM's pulled back. GIGM I don't love. I'm probably going to take that off the watch. KOSS, one that I was looking at early this morning because it made such a nice move, a couple days ago. It does have the potential to make these crazy moves. So I think I'm going to keep this on watch just to see if it does try to make something like this again. It seems to, it made a big move, pulled back, but it's still holding, this somewhat higher level. So I think it could make a secondary move at some point. Yeah, I agree. I think if GME breaks back over 280, we're looking at another run, definitely over 300 today. But it's really like whether or not that's going to happen. I think it's nearly equally likely that we drop down below 250 and then people start selling off again, or it just gets shorted really hard into it. So we're getting another 5-minute break on NLSP. This one seems to be 1,000 times better than the one that I bought on. Just broke up to 620. 620, another previous pretty hard resistance level. So, I'm probably not going to buy into that because I know it's had issues before there. Frsx coming up a bit, not a ton, but steady moves on pretty nice volume, so we'll keep that one on watch too. And as you can see on Nlsp, it did break above 620, but it's having a really tough time holding those levels. So I'm just like, yeah, on Nlsp, I'm definitely not comfortable buying in. Maybe until we even push above 620, hold above 620, and then make another setup. So I took my shot on it down here. I was holding around here when it pushed up to 620 and bounced off. Then I took the 5-minute setup over here, down here, well, rather. So I was holding 620 as it bounced off this time. Then I took the 5-minute setup here as it pushed up, bounced off again. And now it's pushing up again, makes a little bit slightly higher high, 627, but seems like it is struggling to hold those levels. So buying in this high is just, I think, too risky because it just keeps getting sold into when it pushes into the levels. Frsx still grinding up over here. The smoothest of brains. I predict GME will go up every day, and I feel like, most of the time I'm right because it went up like 12 days in a row or something. I think it's a pretty good bet to think GME is going to go up. It's almost like when GME is strong, if you just buy aftermarket and then you just wait until the morning, like it's up like 90% of days or something. It's insane how good it holds up overnight. Oh, so just pushed and tapped 630. So it looks like it's holding up much better here than it did last time. Yeah, I agree. It definitely was. It's fun to watch. It's just like a cool experience to have, just seeing all of it happen. And I mean, the stock market will probably be significantly less eventful after GME's all done with. But stocks still go up like crazy every day. And Nlsp, we're looking at it right now. It's up 125% right now. So as long as stock's still going up, there's still a lot to do in the stock market. Frsx pulling back a little bit right now. Frsx, what's the float on that? Oh, I don't have the float on that. I guess Yahoo Finance doesn't have the float information. Unfortunate. Just run through all this other stuff that we were looking at. Nlsp still coming back up, but like I said before, hitting some resistance coming into these levels. And I'd be worried buying into them. I want to see a better pullback and then a push back up if I'm going to take a trade on it. Probably watch Frsx on the other chart right now. Good volume coming in on Nlsp. We'll see how it fares as it comes up in the 650. I want to see a red 5-minute candle, or at least a few red 1-minute candles before I try to take a setup on this. Otherwise, we're way too close to the highs, and we've seen such big pullbacks coming into them. It's just not worth taking the trade on it. Just double topped at 939 here. So double top pulling back a tiny bit, nothing too crazy. Still have 2.5 minutes on this 5-minute candle. So it's going to be a while before we see any change, or if we see this put in a red 5-minute candle. if we see it put in a red 5-minute candle, breaks just below this, and then it puts in another 5-minute candle that pushes back up closer to 650, then I'd be cool taking a trade on this. But just the way it's been acting does not inspire confidence, especially because we've had so many high volume red candles. It's just unfortunate. Frsx pulling back a little bit. I have to imagine Frsx is a higher float stock, even though I don't have the float info on Olive Guardians. Just because of the way it's trading, it's grinding up, smaller moves. The 1-minute candles don't move more than, 10, 20 cents. So it's trading like a higher float stock. One minute left on the 5-minute candles here. And then this next 5-minute candle is coming into 9 o'clock, so I think it might be a little bit of an indicator of what we're going to see as we come into 9. Big spike of selling on Nlsp. So this is the kind of thing that I was afraid of. It's pushing into 640. All of a sudden, it's sold down to 590. It might come back up, but yeah, this is just the kind of thing. I mean, like, this is way more pronounced than we've seen, but we've seen selling like this coming in at other points where it's pushing into a level, it's looking good, it's holding up, and then all of a sudden, huge sell-off. Back here, we saw it sell off. It pushed up, it was holding 615, and then within 2 candles, it sold off to 575. So this is why I'm more worried about this one. But still, I mean, it's still holding like just below 6 right now. I think if this puts in a decent 5-minute setup, it could still be tradable. So we'll see what happens with it. Frsx down 50 cents off the high. That's a rough 5-minute candle it put in. So 5-minute setup for this, we'd have to wait for another candle at least. Since I really doubt it'll reclaim all of this and push over it. And even if it does, I mean, then our bailout point's going to be 40 cents down, which is quite a lot for the expected. If we break out, our first profit target's probably going to be $9 as it pushes up into $9, or maybe if it breaks over $9, which on the breakout's profit target of 40 cents, and then also a bailout of 50 cents. So I don't like those ratios. I like to try to keep them as as good as I can. So if it puts in like a nice 5-minute setup, so that's why in Nlsp here, we were looking at this, and then we came in for this 5-minute setup. So it's a little squeezed, but this 5-minute candle, high of 595, low of 572. Right, so if we bought in to 595, we have a 23-cent stop, because if we break down below this 5-minute candle, then we'll have our stop set there. And then our profit target was 650. So a 20-cent stop for a 55-cent profit target. And then, so that was like our first profit target, and also if it breaks over those levels, we expect to push back up to 684. So the profit we're expecting versus our expected loss is significantly better. And then, along with that, it's a 5-minute setup and a first 5-minute setup, first 5-minute breakout of the stock so far today. So it has probably the highest chance that it's going to have actually resolving properly. So, hopefully greater than 50% chance of getting the trade to be profitable, and also our profit target is way better than our loss. It's really what I try to aim for. Which is why it's hard to take some trades on these, just because, like I said with Frsx, just putting such a big red candle here, where if by some chance our next green candle comes up and pushes over it, our loss target is like so far down because of the big red candle. What you got here, gentlemen? Yeah, dude, that's true. Just do something. Dude, I'm actually like at least this week. This week we've had some action. Stocks have been coming up. It's been looking good. Uh, but like, so I'm like super happy with this week. Like the prior 2 or 3 weeks, that's literally what I was like every single day. I'd like come on here and I'd be like, well, market's pretty slow today. let's just let's just watch the charts for 2.5 weeks and see if something moves. Yeah, so I'm actually like as happy as I can be this week with the way the market's going. If it continues on like this, I will be psyched. It's just unfortunate that like the one good trade. I feel like every morning there's like one great opportunity this week, and the great opportunity this week I got I got called downstairs to give that guy my car keys. So unfortunate. On the 5 minute, this is looks crazy good. On the 1 minute, we were looking really good. Bought down at $5, held up as it was breaking through 550, and like literally on this breakout is when I had to go downstairs. So I got wrecked. And Nlsp, pulled back quite a bit now. Yeah. So this is definitely looking worse, than it did previously. Broke out of this ascending support. I don't really expect this to come back up, and if it does, I would need it to look very strong for me to willing to be take a trade on it. Oh, congrats, dude. That'd be awesome. Everyone always loves to be green year to date. It's a great feeling. It's like you see red for so long, and then when it finally turns green, you're like, oh, spectacular. Oh, what's going on, Carl? How's it going? Let's check out some of these other stuff we were looking at today. So GME, like I was saying before, kind of just chilling. Um, Pulling down a little bit right now. Oh god, dude. Stupid Subaru people are calling me again. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, gentlemen, I mean, yeah, same with me, dude. Really, like, the first trade that I made was back in, like, December when I bought GME. So, yeah, kind of gotta thank GME for getting me into it as well. 4 straight green days. We'll take those, dude. That's awesome. I was green at the end of the stream yesterday, right? Yeah, I think I was up like $40 at the end of the stream yesterday, and then I completely threw it away in the open. So I ended up like down $40 yesterday, unfortunately. So I'm not having quite the week you're having, but what are you gonna do? I made like some more at the open, but then I made a bad trade, so threw in the garbage. GME coming up a tiny bit right now. Yeah, it just dropped at 9 o'clock on pretty big red volume, but yeah, it's like the craziest thing. So it had the highest red volume in this candle at $270, and it moved it only about 50 cents. And now on this candle, with maybe 2/3 of the volume, it just pushed up $3. So it seems like there's a lot less sells on the books than there is buyers, which I mean is good to see on GameStop. It's coming up right now. Still very very light volume though. And when it's like super light volume like this, I'm always afraid that it's just gonna turn around and just stomp us out at some point. So I probably won't take a trade on it until it starts coming up. Maybe I'd like to see it come above 280, then get a pullback at some point, and then I'll try to buy on the pullback as it's coming back up. Because I've had very bad experience buying into resistance levels on this, and 280 previously. Yesterday, it bounced off 281 two different times and then pulled back. So I'd be kind of, I wouldn't be comfortable buying into 280 right now. I'd like to see it break and then make a pullback and then come back above it. So, get a little retest of 280 to make sure we actually got above it for real. So we'll wait for that. As far as low float stuff this morning, Nlsp has folded over. So I really doubt that it's going to come back up at this point. Seems like quite a lot of selling coming into it and decreased volume after 9 o'clock. Doesn't look like there's a ton of interest, unfortunately. I could see at the open maybe starting to make a move, but I don't think in pre-market it's gonna rally too much. It is the highest gapper on the day by like a significant margin. It's up 96% still. ENTX is the next closest at 45%. So it is going to be the one that people are watching. It's the highest mover on the day. It's a recent IPO and a low float. It's only 3 million share float. So it's got a lot of things going for it, definitely, NLSP. Unfortunately, it just seems like either I don't think this could possibly be legitimate sellers. Like people actually like selling the stock because it just hit all-time high here, right? So I don't think this is going to be people trying to get out at a loss or like just trying to bail out or take their profits since it hasn't really been in existence for very long. I don't know. I feel like this has to be shorts coming in, trying to short it off of these high levels. So maybe if we push up, past 650 and we get some of these people need to try to cover, uh, we'll get a move back up through 7. I could see it, but I have a feeling we're gonna have to wait till the open to see anything like that happen. Since now it's pulled back down pretty far below VWAP. We're looking at ANIX. ANIX pulled back off 8. I thought it was making a really nice move. I thought this was gonna come back down and then immediately rip back up, maybe on the next 5-minute candle breakout, but it's just gonna be chilling right now. I could see this coming back up too. It's holding above VWAP right now. Um, $8. It hit $8 earlier today, and on the daily, there's pretty much no resistance except for all the way back here. On one day, it hit $8.95. But besides that, it's at all-time highs. So I could see this making a move back up through 8. You might hit some resistance coming up into that $9 level because of that previous day. But I mean, I could definitely see this thing move, man. So definitely one to watch. Some of the other stuff we're looking at, like ENTX. ENTX is up on the day, but now it's retested VWAP twice and failed. So I'm not like super confident in this one. It made good moves yesterday, all the way up to 780. So I could see if we pop above 7, we might be able to run back up. But we're gonna have to wait until we see a move before I take a trade on that. KOSS, another one, a little bit of a higher price stock, but this is the one that moved up to like $40 a couple days ago. Definitely gonna keep this on watch. This thing might run again. Cfrx looks pretty dead, to be honest with you. I don't see that making a comeback. No volume in it. Uh, yeah, METX also, holding above VWAP, but coming back down to it right now. This isn't my favorite. Also decreased volume, pretty light volume on some of these 1 minute candles, so definitely less interest. Nlsp I was talking about before could come back up, but we're definitely gonna need to give it some time. And Frsx now has pulled back pretty significantly. So yeah, I mean ENTX probably one to watch. METX definitely make a move back up. It's moving right now. Nlsp could definitely make a move. ANIX, of course. And yeah, Frsx pulled back. So yeah. So really, ANIX, NLSP, and METX are the ones I'm going to be watching coming to the Open, along with GME. So let's see how METX is doing here. METX looking like it's about to break through the high day. Hasn't made a crazy move percentage-wise though, so people might not be looking at this one. It's not even moved above 25% at the moment. So a little bit further down the list. So maybe not as interesting to some people. But ANIX and NLSP definitely up there. They both can start moving during the Open, I would think. And since 9 o'clock, we haven't had anything pop up on the movers scanner. It's been 20 minutes since we've seen anything pop up on it, and the last thing we saw pop up was Frsx, which it was going up, but is grinding up a higher float stock, seemingly. Not too much volume, so not really one that we wanted to trade unless it started really moving. So in reality, in the last 30 minutes, really nothing has popped up on the scanners. That's worthwhile. So when we come to the Open, yeah, these are going to be the ones to watch. ANIX and NLSP. And then maybe METX if we see some more interest coming into it. Did just break through the high day. Buying this breakout through the high day, it's selling off a little bit now. Broke up above 304, only hit 311, so 7-cent breakout, and then it started pulling back immediately. So I don't know if this is gonna be one people are super interested in. Yeah, I saw SEL this morning, and it's it's starting to come up like a little bit, but yeah, look at this, just getting sold into. I think the biggest problem I see here is on the 5 minute chart. This sell-off from 465 was just on such massive volume. So it seems like there are definitely people waiting for this to pop up just to sell off. So I don't know if this thing is going to run. God, this thing had some highs, in the past. So there might be people holding, just waiting for a couple dollars to just bail out of this thing. Try to get any money they can back. Yeah, it's just really nice pop off on the 5 minute, completely sold off. Same thing, popped off, completely sold off. So I would be afraid to buy this stock. It seems like that people are just waiting to sell this thing if it comes up. Nothing really looking too amazing though. Pretty much the two things that I think people are going to be most interested in are holding below VWAP right now. So not ideal. Maybe GameStop's going to be the one to watch at the Open. This thing definitely can make a run. I think if it starts coming up above 280, we're looking really good on it. Give this another few minutes to see if anything pops up, closer to 9:15, but really right now it's not really looking like too much going on at the moment. Switch these so I can get Nlsp, Nix, and we'll get on this other chart so we can watch all of these. Nlsp kind of moving up a tiny bit right now. We'll see if it actually holds. I don't have like super high confidence that it's going to do much at the moment. But maybe coming into the open, like I said, the open, when a lot more volume comes into some of these stocks, Nlsp, if this thing was getting shorted off the highs, if we see it pop back up on good volume through 650, it might scare some of the shorts out and they'll have to cover, and we'll push back up through 7. GME just looking for that move up to 280. And ANIX. I mean, ANIX could be really nice. Like I said, this is similarly, ANIX and Nlsp both at essentially all-time highs right now. So no resistance if they start moving up. Except for people trying to take profits. We'll see what it does. And we'll just wait for 915 to hit here. Oh, what's going on, Tom? Just wait for 915 to hit. If we see anything pop up on news at 9:15, we'll try to take a trade on it. Otherwise, probably just gonna end the stream there. Get ready and then wait for some of this stuff into the open. Pretty much said what I was looking at coming into it. But you know, you always see stuff come up at 9:30 that is unexpected. So, if you guys wanna check stuff out yourself, go to oliveguardians.com. Check out the scanners. Got them up over here. I look at the stuff, anything that's moved up above 25%, so that's the things that are going to immediately catch people's eyes, you know, when they sit down to start trading. And then the movers, so anything that's moved up more than 8% in the last 5 minutes, and has sufficient volume. So I think it's over 50,000 shares of volume right now. So check those out. You know, I run them all day, so if you want to trade off of those, feel free. And then every morning I grab all of the stocks that I'm trading off of those as well. And it seems like we've hit 9:15. Give it 30 seconds here. I don't really see anything popping up though. A little bit more volume coming into ANIX, but nothing too crazy. Just popped up a bit, but not really moving too much. Nlsp pulling back a little bit, so I don't really see much happening. So. Yeah, end the stream now. I don't like trading in the last like 10 minutes before the open. I'll let you guys know how the trades go into the open tomorrow. Well, actually it's Friday, so I guess Monday. Trades didn't go so well yesterday, so I'm hoping for a better result today. And I hope you guys do. I hope you guys do great on your trading. Let me know if you guys are using the scanners and you know you want me to change anything, or you think there's any criteria for scanners that I should put on. And I can make those new scanners for you guys. Alright, well, everyone, have a good day. I'll see you guys all on Monday.